This episode of Nerdist News is sponsored by Deadly Class on Sci-Fi. New details have been revealed about Ghostbusters 3. It's been a hell of a week for Ghostbusters fans. Not only did we get word that Jason Reitman was directing a new Ghostbusters movie that would be a continuation of the original series directed by his dad, Ivan Reitman, but we also got a teaser trailer to go with it. After the poor box office returns for 2016's Kristen Wiig-led Ghostbusters, many thought that the supernatural comedy series was dead and buried. But based on the response for the teaser, it looks like fans are still charging their proton packs for the franchise. Even though Jason Reitman was mum on the details, saying he wants to slowly unwrap the movie like a present. It turns out that there have been quite a few tidbits, rumors, and deets floating around the interwebs, giving us plenty of clues on what Ghostbusters 3 could have in store. Some good, some bad, and some,
Is this true?
Yes, it's true. This man has no doubt.
So let's get the biggest piece of news out of the way, the piece of Ghostbusters news that caused fire and brimstone, human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together.
Mass hysteria! Enough, I get the point!
Is that the main characters of the new Ghostbusters movie will be kids. Wait, didn't we see that in Stranger Things too?
Be cool. Who are you gonna call?
In a report from the folks over at We Got This Covered, we learned a bunch of info on the personalities of the two central characters. One of the main characters of Ghostbusters 3 is a 13-year-old boy who is passionate about fantasy and conspiracy theories. Furthermore, he apparently approaches every situation with unbridled excitement for the unknown. What's perhaps most interesting, though, is that he quite often will narrate life in real time, adding descriptive color to the people he meets. Jessica Chobot thought about this for a moment and decided that this might be a bad idea. That character will be joined by a 12-year-old girl who is said to be an insanely smart kid who has a hard time with interpreting and expressing emotions and speaks with a flat delivery that makes her observations humorous. Though she wants to connect with others, she struggles with interpreting how her family and friends feel and has difficulty sharing her own feelings. Her science acumen is said to prove invaluable throughout the story. Call us crazy, but this sounds a lot like the personalities of Ray and Egon. Of course, it wouldn't be the Ghostbusters without a squad of 4, and according to Boris Kitt of The Hollywood Reporter, the main characters will be 4 teens in the movie, 2 boys and 2 girls, with Slash Film adding that the film will follow 4 teenagers who become new Ghostbusters with the help of an old guy with a strange amount of spectral-themed machinery. An old guy with some ghostbusting equipment. Could that be a crackpot mentor figure, possibly played by one of the original Ghostbusters? And speaking of the OG squad, it turns out one of them spilled additional beans on the film a few months ago, and no one was really paying attention. Yes, we are talking about Dan Aykroyd. While on Dan Rather's Axis show, The Big Interview, back in November, Aykroyd fessed up that the film was in the works but declined to reveal who the filmmakers would be. He did offer up that the team was trying to bring back all of the emotion and spirit of the first 2 movies and then take it into the 21st century with a vernacular that's needed today to get it across. As for whether the original Ghostbusters would make an appearance, Aykroyd said that there is a possibility of a reunion with the 3 remaining Ghostbusters. It's being written right now, and when asked about the famously reclusive Bill Murray, Aykroyd said, "I think Billy will come. Oh, Billy! The story's so good, even if he plays a ghost. Oh, Billy, that's cute." It's worth noting that this movie could be kicking off an explosion of new Ghostbusters content. In his Entertainment Weekly interview, Jason Reitman said that he'd love to see more stories from the 2016 rebooted Ghostbusters and that the Ghostbusters universe is big enough to hold a lot of different stories. And with previous news of an animated Ghostbusters film already in the works from a different filmmaking team, it looks like the plan is to do just that. But what do you folks think? Is this the juice they need to get the Ghostbusters franchise back off the ground? How do you feel about seeing yet another group of new Ghostbusters? And since they already have the costumes, should they just let the Stranger Things kids headline it? Let's discuss. Thanks again to Sci-Fi's Deadly Class for sponsoring today's episode. Based on the graphic novel by Rick Remender and Wes Craig, Deadly Class is set against the backdrop of the unsanitized 1980s counterculture where a disillusioned teen named Marcus is recruited into King's Dominion, a secret academy for the deadly arts. There, Marcus finds meaning and family in an unlikely group of outcast misfits who are out to change the world by breaking every rule there is. From executive producers the Russo brothers, watch episode 1 of Deadly Class now on sci-fi.com.